Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Reverse 1999 video. Alright, so if you guys are not aware, there's a mini game that you can play right now, and hopefully I'll have the link in the description below. Make sure you guys do that because that's gonna give you a total of 60 gems. So let's see, so I need to enter the user ID. So you go here, you click, now it's copied, finally. This one, and then you gotta enter your ID. So this way you get the gems. Okay, this is all I care about. There. Okay, so make sure you guys do it, alright? This is the mini game. In this video, we're gonna talk a little bit about the upcoming character Jessica. I'm sure all of you guys are aware. Once 2 fairies banner ends, right now you can pull for 2 fairy alongside with Voyager. So I do think that 2 fairy is going to be a very good pull. Solid pull overall. If you can only pick one, I would lean towards hers. But let's talk a little bit about Jessica. Alright, so by now I think most of you guys probably already have pulled for 2 fairy. So Jessica, should you pull for her, aka Changeling? Let's talk about her criteria on what makes her really strong, and also why you might need certain characters if you want to make the best out of her. Now looking at Jessica's banner on CN, you can see she comes with both Necrologist and Horrorpedia. Both are kind of decent. Necrologist is a very strong 5-star character, by the way. I highly recommend try to build her. She's going to be one of the better characters to build for 5 stars, right? The problem is in the CN server, you can see right after her banner is followed up by NN Lee's banner. And NN Lee is one of the best character in the game as well for plant type. So that's going to be something that we're going to find out if Global is going to have the same schedule. Now, if we were to look at the tier list, I'm sure most of you guys probably have seen plenty of multitude of different versions of tier list. Jessica is usually one of the top damage dealers in a lot of rankings that you have seen either in PvE or in like any bosses, limbo, etc for plant type, right? So you will always see her being one of the top ones. In global, you can see right now she's up there for sure, and then in CN she's also right up there. Alright, it does favor plant a little bit. In the previous version she was down a little bit, but you can see she's going to be probably the best plant damage dealer for a long time. Alright, probably going to replace Druvis III for a lot of people. Now if you have Druvis 3, she's decent, alright, she's an AoE character. Jessica is more of a different approach to that plan meta, right? Druvis relies on her being able to apply debuffs, being able to apply Petrify. However, lots of monsters later on is immune to that. So Jessica pretty much takes her spot as being the #1 plan damage dealer if you're looking to build a plan team overall, right? However, you know, Jessica comes with a problem. You need Sotheby. Sotheby is pretty much crucial in terms of trying to maximize Jessica's kit. Now let's try and understand why and how is this important. So if you look at what she can do, first things first, the ultimate Gaze from the Forest. Jessica can do, mass attack, deals 350% reality damage, inflicts poison on all enemies for 2 rounds. Alright, so she's all about applying poison, inflicting poison. Now when the round ends, the enemy will take Jessica's attack, 30% Genesis damage, and this is basically the scaling of the DOT, right? So basically she will be able to do poison like every round if the enemy has poison on them, and it scales off her attack. Ideally in a resonance, putting more attack seems to be much more beneficial. Now her White Blankie, this is going to be her single target skill. This one does a lot of damage. As you can see, on level 1 is 1 target attack, deals 180% reality damage. If the target suffers from poison, she will deal additional 40% reality damage. For each additional stack of poison afterwards, deals 20% more reality damage up to 2 stacks, right? 40%. So you can see she does a lot of damage, but the problem with White Blankie is the enemy needs to have poison already, right? Because if the enemy do not have poison yet, you do this, you're going to be able to apply poison. She does have an ability to apply poison on her inside, but it's going to be based upon rounds. Sotheby is pretty much going to make it more consistent, right? Because if you pair Jessica with Sotheby, Sotheby is going to be able to apply debuffs first before she apply this particular skill, therefore amplifying the damage even more. And this White Blankie skill is going to be it's going to put her on top of the damage charts compared to a lot of other single target damage dealers, even on par with Melania on occasion, right? Because as you can see, if you go up to level 3, it can deal 450% reality damage. Alright, and this is on the skill, this is not an ultimate by the way. And if the target suffers poison, deals additional 100% reality damage, that's 550%. Alright, for each additional stack of poison, you can do up to 100% more. So this is 450%, 100%, 100%. This is 650% relative damage for a level 3 skill, which is just insane. This is not on an ultimate, this is on a level 3 skill. And it's going to be something that she can stack easily, right? So something that you want to take into consideration. A single target damage dealing potential is really, really high. It's like top. And then as you can see, good friends. This is going to be the mass attack skill that does damage to 2 enemies. She does relative damage again if the target is inflicted with one of these 3 statuses, right? Stats down, negative stats, or control. Then this particular attack will deal 30% more relative damage. Again, Sotobi can trigger this easily by applying negative status, aka poison. Now, by default, all her skills are pretty good, but it's not explanatory enough of why she needs Sotobi. But if you scroll down and look at her insight, now you can understand why. When she attacks enemy that has poison already applied on them, she somehow is going to be able to do 20% increased damage. Alright? So that means Sotobi is going to be kind of crucial. Now, she is able to do that with her Insight 1 and Insight 3. Her Insight 1 at the start of the battle, and once every 3 rounds after the battle begins, she will inflict poison on all enemies for 2 rounds. Alright? And this is going to inflict genesis damage equal to 30% of the caster's attack at the end of each round. Now, this is going to apply for rounds number 1, round 3, round 6, round 9, etc, etc, etc. However, again, what if it's round 2? What if it's round 4, right? And then the enemy don't have poison. So there might be some occasions where you are going to need another poison applicator to apply that for you. And then on Insight 3, after attacking enemies not afflicted with poison, inflicts poison for 2 rounds. This is cool and all, right? She's going to be able to inflict 1 poison on her Insight 3 if the enemy do not have poison. But if you go up and look at this skill again, the white blankie, based on how many stack of poison the enemy has, she will be able to do more damage, and usually you will need 2 stacks of poison, right? And with that, Sotobi is going to be able to help you even more. So 1 stack of poison might not be enough. In most cases, you want to pair her with Sotobi. Sotobi is going to be a very, very good character to help the changeling and amplify the ability of her to be able to do more damage. Now, let's say you don't have Sotobi. For whatever reason, you do not have her, and you intend to still want to pull for Jessica. How do you make it work? What is going to be the best team composition that you can make, right? So another option is to pull for Kanjira later on in version 1.3. So Kanjira is going to be this girl right here, alright? So she's a 5-star plant type. Again, very, very plant specific. So when you build them, you want to build a plant team. She is going to appear alongside in this particular banner alongside with Shaman at 1.3. Alright, so that's going to be specifically later in version 1.3, first half of the version 1.3. Now there is some issues with Kanjira specifically. Number 1, she's a 5-star. Okay. Number 2, she's going to be much more of a mental damage character as opposed to reality, where Sotobi is a reality, right? And you can rely on Sotobi easily to be able to provide you with some healing as well. So that way you don't have to worry about like having a healer, right? And you can build a better team overall. Like you just have a much more flexibility in terms of that, because now you don't have to worry about a healer. Now if you pair with Kanjira, then your third slot has to be a healer. You have no choice. You have to put like Balloon Party or 2 Fairy, someone in the third slot, right? Because Kanjira does not heal. She inflicts poison. She applies confusion on one of her skill as well. And you're gonna have like a less optimal team because you have one character that does relative damage, which is Jessica, your main damage dealer. But then Kanjira doesn't really do relative damage. She does mental damage. So therefore, you know, it might be really hard to try to fight certain enemies. Also, if you pair with Sotobi, your third slot, you can place somebody that helps you amplify your damage even more. Alright, so damage potential is going to increase. If you put somebody like N Lee in your third slot, alright, or even Kornblum, alright, these two are very, very good, solid debuffer or damage amplifier that can help push Jessica's damage to a higher ceiling. And that's ideally what you want to do. In most cases, this is going to be, from what I've seen in CN, that's going to be one of the most common teams, Jessica, Sotobi, Kornblum, or Jessica, Sotobi, and N Lee. So those are going to be something that you can consider. Or if you don't have either one of those two, you can consider Soneto as well. She's going to be decent in the third slot to buff everyone's damage all together. Now, is she a must-have? This is going to be something that I think a lot of players want to know. Should you pull for Jessica? I think it really depends. She is still, until now, the best plant damage dealer if you're looking specifically for a plant type. Now, if you look at the tier list right now, if I were to filter it by plant type specifically, you can see she is going to be the best one. I feel like she's going to be future-proof. Tooth Fairy is going to be better overall, right? Because Tooth Fairy is a healer. Whereas for damage dealer, there's just no competition. Druid's Tree is probably the closest one, but she's much more of a mental damage dealer as opposed to a reality one. So that's going to be something to consider. You could possibly go 2 routes as well and build 2 separate teams depending on what you need. I think she's really strong. I don't think you are going to regret it if you don't pull for her. The only requirements is you probably is going to need Sotobi so that she's going to be able to push her damage ceiling much higher. So version 1.3, we're going to have 2 more characters. One is Shaman and one is Black Dwarf. So that could be a potential characters that you want to look at as well if you are looking to build other types. But regardless, all of these are really solid characters. None of them has been power crept yet. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds. But for now, yeah, Jessica, you won't regret pulling for her. Same applies for Tooth Fairy, same applies for Shaman or Black Dwarf. Just go with the design that you think is going to fit you the best. I'll probably make a separate video talking about the other two, hopefully give you guys a better idea on if they are going to be better for your account. But for now, that's going to be it for this video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.